Hello and welcome to your bumper bank holiday edition of Loose Women. Joining me this Easter Monday are this bunch of bunnies, not boilers, Frankie Bridge, Katie Piper and Jane Wood. There she is, cute as a button. Coming up, how important is it to share not just your life but your fitness goals with your partner, even if, for example, he's a professional athlete, Frankie. We are chatting fitness compatibility a little bit later. At 1 o'clock, the Fizz star Jay Aston will be here, raising awareness about how meningitis doesn't just affect young children after a teenage daughter suffered from a sudden onset of the illness. That ran a chill down my spine, that story, and Jay is going to be here giving advice on the signs to look out for as well. Plus, with new Disney cartoon Turning Red starting the period chat amongst the under-10s, are kids' films the right way to tackle puberty? And is this pick of French President Emmanuel Macron? He looks so French, doesn't he? I mean, my goodness, archetype. He's flashing his chest. Is it getting you hot under the collar, or is it just totally inappropriate? Find out what we think later. He's just missing a medallion, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, it really needs a medallion
like
kind of nestling there. I know.
It's like one of those joke shop.
But I just thought round there, it looks like it's trimmed it.
I can hear Charles Aznavour playing in the background. You won't remember that, will you? Okay. I'll sing it to you in the break. If you're very unlucky. Now, of course, this weekend you might have been stuffing your face with chocolate and hot cross buns, but for many it is a deeply religious occasion, which I have to say personally, and I know you have a strong faith, Katie, I'm not religious, but funny enough, I was sort of doing the washing and stuff yesterday, and I was listening to the radio, and they did have an Easter-related sort of, wasn't a service one, but it was an interesting interview. And for the first time ever, something kind of clicked with me, and I was really interested to know what you particularly thought about it. In that, the woman who very much did have a Christian faith was saying that her relationship with God was special because it made her know that she was loved, from the get-go, that she was worthy, if you like. And it really made me think about all the conversations that we have, probably particularly about young women with low self-esteem, low self-worth, wondering what everyone else is thinking about them, judging themselves by other people. Whether or not having that knowledge that you are worthy and that you are worthy of love, albeit from a God, really does make a difference to the way that you kind of approach your life. And I always joke about having an epiphany, which is my silly way of saying epiphany. But I thought, God, I've had one on Easter Sunday. That is really wild. I mean, is that how it feels?
Yeah, well, you're enough in your Creator's eyes because they made you this way. And I think it doesn't just have to be Christianity. It's whatever you believe in, whatever religion. It's that sense that something's bigger than you. And I think that's, important to a lot of people. I wasn't raised in a religious household or a Christian household, but it's something I found later on in life. And yeah, I definitely find it comforting. I find it reassuring, that sort of thing of being able to sort of surrender and let go, because believing in God's plan rather than anything else.
So when you say later in life, when and why? Yeah,
I was in my 20s. I mean, I had sort of a typical RE, at school, but I was in my 20s when I found it, and it was after I was injured. One of the nurses was very deeply religious, and she sort of prayed for me. She sung to me, and I think at the time I was quite lonely, and it was just a source of comfort in itself, that company. And then I explored it when I got discharged. I started going to a church, and I found a real community in that church who really helped me get my life back together, and it's just continued to be ever present in my life. I feel.
And you felt they wouldn't judge you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A good safety net for me when I first wanted to go back out into the world, a place free of judgment, and you're probably not going to find very many unkind people within that circle. But still now, I feel God working in my life now, and it's something I talk to my kids about.
So I'm going to ask you this, just because I know a lot of people watching will think this, or this is how they think, is how does God exist when terrible things happen to people? And of course, you are one of those people.
Yeah, terrible things happen all the time, and some people will give the answer of man having free will, and some people will have beliefs that when people pass over, they go somewhere else. They're not meant for this life. They're saved from something else. But that can be really hurtful to hear for some people, and it's different and it's personal. You know, I think for me, life is very much about mindset, and maybe more old-fashioned Christians would say, well, that's not a Christian belief. But I really believe in life being however you look at it, your mindset. So what happened to me was awful, but it was a small moment in my life, because the big moment is what I did with it after is what truly counts. And that was my mindset of how I see my life. I see myself as very blessed and very fortunate, but some people might disagree.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it's how you feel that's important, isn't it? Not really what anyone else thinks from looking outside. I mean, do you have a faith?
No, I went to what you would call a C of E school. So we had, you know, morning assemblies, and we definitely did the Lord's Prayer, and you know, we learned RE, or I think it might even be called RS, whatever. But so we learned all about the Bible, blah blah blah. But my mum wasn't particularly religious. For me, I have no issue with any of it. For me, I think it does give you a really good moral compass.
Yeah.
Whatever you choose to do with it in later life, you know, you learn about right and wrong and all of that. And sometimes that can be missing in other parts of education if you don't do religious studies at school.
Yeah, I suppose, I mean, I would hope that I behave in a quite moral way, which probably matches up with a lot of religions, I would hope. But it was that thing of being loved and made to feel worthy by an external body that really struck me. Because, I mean, we've spoken about it before in terms of self-esteem and self-worth, and a lot of young people are lacking that, aren't they?
Yeah, I do think that's a nice thing. It's like you've almost always got backup. It's a sense of armour and a sense of safety. And I think I haven't been brought up to be religious, and I wasn't christened, so my parents kind of had this thing I could choose as I got older, which is something that I think, like, you got to choose. And I think that's a really nice thing, because it's a way that you're going to choose to live your life.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I'd love my kids to be able to choose whether they want a faith and whatever faith that is. And sometimes I do wish that I had one, because I think it would help with a lot of things. I have a lot of anxiety around what happens after life and this, that, the other, and I'd love to have a belief.
You might do one day. You might come to something one day. Something might happen to change the way you feel or challenge it.
Yeah, so I think it is. I think it's a lovely thing to have, but it's just not.
Yeah, that used to scare me, actually. I used to do religious programs, funnily enough, and you would meet people who had a strong faith, and sometimes you get in a conversation and they would speak to me about being saved, you know, and it terrified me, because I'm a control freak, you know, and I really wasn't comfortable with this idea of, you know, some, you know, unknown being coming into my life. And so I suppose I would probably reject it. But maybe as you get older, you think, well, actually, I need a bit of help here. Maybe you can come in here and help me. And I suppose that's when you probably open up to it.
But I didn't think my kids knew any relation of Easter and any religious side of it, but actually I was quite surprised. They go to a Catholic school, actually, funnily enough, and they've learned all about it. So actually they ended up telling me about what it means, and, you know, pass the chocolate and the Easter. Don't get me wrong, the Easter egg hunt was very important to them. At least they know where it's come from.
Yeah. Well, from one belief system to another, stargazers are saying that we're in for a period of extreme luck. It's been a long time coming, hasn't it? Apparently there's a special conjunction of the planets happening at the moment. So, Jane, you don't have a religious faith, but do you believe in luck?
Of course, that's a big question, isn't it? I believe it comes in different parcels in life. So I think to do with health, there's no such thing as luck, because some people are very, very unlucky with their health. And, you know, some of the richest people in the world have died from conditions that they haven't been able to you know, conquer, if you like, for want of a better word. Outside of that, I think there are lots of areas. I mean, there's the old phrase, like in terms of work and what you do for it, there's no such thing as luck. It's preparation meets opportunity.
Very good. Yeah.
Which I think is a great saying. So I do think in work and in other areas of life, there are elements where you can make your own luck. I don't think that particularly in health, because there are some very outwardly healthy people who end up getting, you know, horrible, life-threatening conditions. The other thing I think about luck is a lot of times in my life, I have felt lucky. You know, I mean, at the moment, touch wood. Is there any wood in this entire place? I haven't suffered the loss of somebody very close to me in my family. And sometimes I get a bit, and I think, I've had too much luck. I've had too much luck. There's something coming around the corner that's, you know, going to take my feet from under me. But yeah, it's a fascinating topic, isn't it?
Well, sometimes people can thrive on the concept of bad luck. So you all know that kind of person that can be a bit of a martyr and sort of has created this title for themselves. I'm so unlucky. It's all right for you. I always have bad luck. Everything always goes wrong. And it's like, well, if that's your outlook, then that's how it's always going to feel. You know,
but some of us are born more fortunate. I mean,
that's privilege.
People would say that you were the victim of dreadful bad luck. I mean, you were, weren't you?
Well, no, I think everybody has trauma in some form or the other in their life at some point. Some people's comes sort of all isolated together, some comes later in life, and some is more severe than others for certain people. And I think that just goes back to life not being fair. I mean, me and you talked about that earlier. You know, life is unfair.
So you don't think of yourself as unlucky?
No, because that's just not a thing. I think of myself as #blessed. You know, if I was on Instagram. But I mean, look at Sophie Morgan, you know, another fantastic panellist on the show. She was paralysed at 18. I've never heard Sophie say to me, I have such bad luck. I've just seen Sophie seek opportunity in every scenario and go out there and do stuff of her life that we're not even doing.
She almost said on the show, actually, that she almost wouldn't change what happened because it made her the person that she's become. And I look at you and your foundation and all the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
In a way, you know, as you say, not only do you feel blessed, but you've actually blessed a lot of other people by helping them out.
Yeah, thank you. I suppose you could look at that. I just think in life, once you accept what is and you can accept something, then you can do something with it and then you can move on and you can say, is this a problem or is this an opportunity? Because however you package it up and present it to yourself is how you will live it out, and that will be your story that you'll tell, you know?
Do you think it's a choice, though? Do you think you can choose to have that attitude?
Yeah, I think it's something you have to actively do. You know, everyone talks about all this manifesting and all that, and I know it's a bit of a buzzword at the minute, but I do think you have to think in a positive way. Like, I've been in situations, you know, having depression and anxiety, I can get down, you know, on a regular basis, and that's not really a choice, but I can, you know, I have tried to make good of that and and I do have to kind of think myself out of those situations sometimes. If I'm in a dark hole, you know, I could wallow in that for ages, and sometimes I can't get out of it, but sometimes I can. And I think that's with most things. I've looked at some bad situations before and I thought, right, I can be really upset about this for weeks on end or months or whatever, but I can choose to move on from that and to look at it in a different way. And I do think that it makes, mindset makes a massive difference.
I think what you say there, because when you talk about mental health, it's different. It's not often not a choice.
No.
But if you're talking about things that have happened to you in your life, I love that old. It's about dodging the bitterness bullet, isn't it? Because actually, the only person that harms is you. And I remember that wonderful Nelson Mandela quote. What did he say? He said, you know, wishing revenge on your enemies is like drinking poison and hoping it's going to kill you. You drinking poison and hoping it's going to kill them.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, anyway, we are going to have apparently an alignment of the planets, so we're going to have great fortune rain down upon us.
Right.
We've got tons more to come on today's jam-packed show, including a frank chat about competitive parenting and how to talk to your kids about puberty. And after the break, does the couple that works out together stay together? Katie certainly thinks so. We're asking if sharing fitness goals with your partner is a true test of compatibility in a few minutes. Let's hope not, Jane. And how long is too long to leave your hair without washing it? We've got the answer coming up for you later in today's show from Skanky Frankie.
Wash that man right out of my hair and send him on his way. I'm gonna wave that man right out of my arms. I'm gonna wave that.
Welcome back. We've got some cracking parenting dilemmas coming up, including whether it's okay to not give in to PTA pressure and be the rubbish one at the school gates, and at what age should you stop letting your kids see you naked? Believe me, mine would not like to see me naked, but that's for a whole other set of reasons. It's competition time first, and your chance to win a brand new holiday home plus £40,000 in cash. Woo! Oh, Jane. Silent blue doesn't really work.
It's Easter, come on.
Natalie Anderson has all the details.
Happy Easter Monday! We have got the perfect prize package for you worth over £110,000 that you can indulge in. Go on then.
Yes! This week, you have another chance to win a brand new Swift Bordeaux exclusive holiday home. You'll be spoilt for choice as there's 21 Haven parks to pick from.
And if that wasn't enough, there's also £40,000 in tax-free cash included in the prize too.
So what's it like to own your own holiday home? Well, I'm meeting some of the owners at Devon Cliffs Park to find out.
Tell me, what is one of the best things?
The community, the area, the views, everything.
We've made a lot of friends while we've been here, so you look forward. It's a bit of a community, actually.
We're giving you the chance to become a holiday homeowner with £40,000 in the bank. But you have to enter to be with a chance of winning the lot, and here's how.
For another chance to win, text PRIZE to 86060. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website. Entries cost £2. Call 09068 786060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY14 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 22nd of April at 3 p.m. Good luck!
Now, we've talked before about dating apps that can match you with your perfect partner, whether it's a fellow pet lover or someone in the same age range. But did you know that you can now also use apps specifically to find someone whose fitness matches your standards, which would probably come in handy after a weekend of overindulging in chocolate. Do you know that it would take 6 hours to walk off a large chocolate Easter egg?
Oh, wow.
6 hours.
Why would you do that to the people at home?
I know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry
They're
about
still
that.
going through the eggs now.
I haven't had any chocolate actually this weekend. I don't know why.
No,
Usually
I've
I love
only had
it.
a little bit.
Yeah, I'm hoping the kids get some eggs so I can nick them. So are you and Richie compatible when it comes to fitness?
We are one of those annoying couples that like exercising together. He is fitter than me. Oh, look. So this was taken 2 days ago, and we went to visit my mum for Easter. So when we get child-free time, that's what we like to go and do together. We go weightlifting, we go running.
So who makes that suggestion?
Both of us, we equally enjoy it. I mean, Richie's not a big drinker in terms of alcohol, so he probably motivates me more to say, like, come on, we've got an hour, no kids, let's go do something we do together. And we used to do that when we were young. That's what
Look at Jane's eyes.
Guys,
We are
there's a million things I'd
we're
want
gym
to
balls,
do.
aren't we?
Oh, nice lunch, nice bottle of wine.
Well, we do that with the kids, so that doesn't feel sacred. That feels like when we first met. That's what we used to do in our 20s. So, and it does release the good endorphins, and we feel happy.
Who leads it though? I mean, if he was a different kind of guy who was more, let's go for a nice long lunch and a bottle of wine, would you go with that? Or you?
Yeah, we'd be Patsy and Eddie if I had a boyfriend like that. Yeah, I'm easily led. But then when I get there, I enjoy it. But he's the motivator because he's just, and his job's really active. He's a builder, so he's got to be fit to go up on the roofs and things like that. So
Does he not get annoying though? I mean, if you said he's fitter, does he kind of lord it over you?
Yeah, so he's competitive. So if we do like a charity run together, we'll do all the training together, and then he will sprint off at the start line when the race day comes. And I'm like, you are 6'1" and I'm 5'3", so there is no glory in beating me. But yeah.
What about Wayne? I mean, surely you don't do fitness with him.
No, do you know what? It's not even worth trying to compete with him. What was the one thing I was better at him then? Like
what was the one
archery. I was better. I mean, who needs it? But for some reason I was better, and that's the one thing in our 11 years. No, he took it quite gracefully. I think because he knows that he's good at everything else. But he is
probably quite nervous actually.
I did say to him, I was like,
Probably
I've got
been
good
having
aim.
secret archery lessons ever since.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. You know what? With him, I do like to train with him, and actually, we are a bit like you guys in that we would choose to go for lunch or something instead. But actually, we do quite like to work out together. I do like
Yeah.
it when he's there. Although he does, there's no chatting. I'm told that if I'm talking, then I'm not working hard enough. So it's not, you know, it's not a fun time.
Well, I'd like a bit of a chat.
Yeah, no, I'm not allowed to chat. But like we have gone out on runs together, and I can see in the shadow, because it's normally at night, and I can see the shadow behind me. He's doing like high knees, star jumps. He's normally wearing a weighted vest. And in the end, I'm like, just leave me alone. I'll run on my own. Because he says I run like a deer and I'm really slow. So that didn't last very long.
It's such a now thing, though, isn't it? The thought of my mum and dad ever saying, let's work out together. I mean, it's like beyond hilarious. I mean, my mum would take the car to the fridge. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Well, my parents used to play badminton together when
Yeah,
they
mine
like
used to play
pre-children.
tennis, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Ian's a tennis coach, so, but I
Oh,
mean, we
no.
never played together. In fact, very early days, he would give me lessons, you know, but he was clearly so bored, and every so often I would turn round and catch him, and he was standing there going, you know, making a fool of me, and, you know.
So you didn't impress him with your tennis skills then?
No.
Didn't lure him in?
So, I mean, the one thing is that we both do like keeping fit. So he does it his way and I do it my way. We wouldn't do it together. I mean, I love walking.
You're a
You love
walker, aren't you?
walking. I
Yeah,
love walking.
we both like walking.
Ian does not see the point in walking from A to B.
Oh, no, a nice walk,
The only
nice
way we could
scenery.
go for a walk is if I took a tennis ball and every so often I went, there you go! And then he would run and get it, and then he would come back and then would, there you go! And
Like a
it's like the
Labrador.
dog.
Yeah.
It's like the dog, basically.
Nice.
So he's so competitive. So he does his thing and I do mine. But if you were with somebody who, like, you really cared about fitness and they didn't care about fitness,
I can see how it
that would
wouldn't
be difficult.
work. I think if you've got someone that spends a lot of time at the gym and you're someone that doesn't, and you view something else as more important,
Yeah.
I think you'd get angry that they're at the gym all the time. The same that if you're not a big drinker and someone's going to the pub all the time. I do think there is a balance, or if you're trying to eat healthy and someone's busy eating all the chocolate
Yeah, it's
and all
just
the
about shared
takeaways.
interests.
You
isn't
and
it?
Gary
Yeah.
cycle together,
Yeah.
don't you?
Huh?
You and Gary cycle together.
Yeah, we don't have shared fitness interests. I
No.
mean, to be honest, I don't do gym. I don't do running. My local common is just full of people my age with bandages everywhere, and I just think, give it a rest. I love walking,
Yeah.
like you. Gary's not particularly a walker, but I do like cycling. And I remember this time we were in Miami, and you know, it's a really wide boardwalk in Miami, and everybody's cycling and roller skating. And I went, right, come on. And I think he took out about 6 people. Literally,
footage? We
fresh
wanna
out
see
of the hut. It was like bang, bang. I went, I think we'll just leave
But
it.
it's a memory
Sit
now.
down, love, sit down.
Go for lunch.
Oh, plenty more to come, including our guide how to escape schoolgate pressure. And speaking of school, we'll be getting nostalgic about our favourite playground games. And we'll also be joined by Jay Aston from pop group The Fizz, who will be sharing her story of her daughter Josie's terrifying experience with bacterial meningitis. She'll be raising awareness of the key signs to look out for. We're back with Jay right after this. Welcome back to your extra special Easter Monday Loose Women. Alongside me, Kay Adams, it's Frankie Bridge, stop groaning you, Katie Piper and Jane Moore. Coming up, remember, Kiss Jay's, Cat's Cradle, Double Dutch. We are sharing our favourite childhood games a little bit later and asking whether in this day and age it's the kids or the parents who are to blame for relying on tablets to keep them entertained. And as French President Emmanuel Macron joins the Pursuit Hall of Fame, is it simply the chest when fellas flash their chest? I didn't write this. Or should they put it away? There you go. Now, less than 4 weeks ago, actually, the Fizz's singer, Jay Aston's 18-year-old daughter, Josie, was the picture of health. But after a sudden onset of what turned out to be bacterial meningitis, Jay was given the shocking news that Josie only had a 50-50 chance of survival. Thankfully, Josie is doing much better. Jay joins us today to share the story, really to raise awareness
Absolutely.
of bacterial meningitis
What
at this
Josie
age.
wants is for people to be made aware of what's happened to her.
Yeah.
Because she was in perfect health. She was the healthiest I've seen her. And she was on like a bit of a fitness kick and just looked glowing. And then literally overnight, well, we nearly lost her.
So do you mind going into how this unfolded? Because when I read your story with a daughter the same age, it really resonated with me. And I'm thinking, what are the signs I need to look for?
Yeah. Well, she phoned me up one afternoon. She said, "Mum, can you come home? I don't feel well. I'm shaking really badly." And so I got back and she'd been lying in the sun. So I thought maybe she's got a bit of heat stroke. And so she got into my bed and she just didn't seem well. So she started to get a high temperature. And I thought, well, that's not heat stroke. So I gave her, paracetamol, ibuprofen, couldn't get the temperature down. So she had an aching neck, joint pain. I thought maybe she's got flu. And a couple of days before, she'd been saying her joints were aching, but she's just grown again. So I'm going, oh, it's growing pains. But no, it wasn't. And so I called 111 and they said, we'll send an ambulance. And I thought, crikey, an ambulance, okay. And this was about 6:45. And then at sort of 11 o'clock, no ambulance. So I'm starting to panic a bit. The temperature's still really high. She doesn't look right. Her eyes were glassy. And so I gave her some more medication to keep her temperature down. And at about 3 o'clock in the morning, she's like, "Mum, I'm not right. I'm really not right." So fortunately, she stayed in my bed so I could keep an eye on her. If she'd gone in her own bed, I don't think I'd have a daughter.
Oh dear.
You're doing really well.
Just listen, take all the time you need, Jay. I mean, this is so fresh for you. It's less than 4 weeks that this happened, and we know that Josie's still in hospital at the moment, though thankfully things seem to be coming around. But my goodness, you have been at the absolute edge of the precipice, and we really appreciate that.
At 3 o'clock in the morning, I turned all the lights on and went, "Let's have a look at you," because bizarrely, my husband had meningitis 19 years ago, and she was my silver lining of nearly losing my husband. So I kind of knew what to look for. I'm getting sorry. And so I saw the rash in her arms, and there was like 4 little brown spots. And so I knew then what it was. And I was like, oh my God.
Did you know instantly?
I knew it was meningitis because it was very similar to what my husband had. It was only because of an old friend of mine had told me about meningitis and what had happened to him that I could save my husband as well. So different rash, but presents very similar. Because Josie's rash was more like a blotch, like a bit like a Dalmatian spot, and my husband's was like a blister with a dot.
I think we have. Do we have a picture of? Oh my goodness! But it wasn't like that when you first detected it. I mean, it's very advanced there, isn't it?
And then by the time we got into A&E, I drove her there. Obviously, the ambulance never turned up. And there was an ambulance man having a sandwich, and I went, "I think this is meningitis." And he went, "I think this is meningitis." And he got her in a wheelchair and he pushed her through. So within 20 minutes, she saw a doctor and she was on a drip, and they were treating her for bacterial meningitis, which was the version that's the blood version, because one attacks the brain lining more and the other one goes through the blood. And within 1 hour, she was covered in the rash, literally everywhere. And then
was she still conscious at that stage?
Yes. She was.
Because she must have been scared.
She's petrified. And a day and a half later, all her organs were failing. So they said, they'd already given us the 50-50, and they said, we need to put her in a coma. So she was in the coma for 5 days, but they only... sorry.
It's okay.
They stopped anaesthetising her after 3 days, and she just didn't come around. And she said to me, "Mummy, I will be awake on Mother's Day," because she knew that meant a lot to me. And she didn't wake up on Mother's Day, but she woke up 2 days later. And I said to her, "Did you hear us talking to you?" Because bizarrely, she's had 2 friends recently who were in comas from accidents. So she was aware of the process, and I think it actually helped her to deal with it. She went, "Don't worry, Mum, I'm going to be awake." And so I said, "Did you hear us talking to her?" Because obviously we were with her all the time. We've been like rotating all the time between me and my husband. And she said, "No, I don't remember anything." But I said, what was it like? And she said, "Mum, I was floating in the universe. I could see all the planets. The planet broke up like an explosion. And then she said, 'Why am I still asleep? I want to go home.' And so she said, 'I need to find my phone and text my mum. She'll know where I am.'"
Oh, bless. But
so
you know what?
That was as she woke up.
What strikes me is because you'd had that experience with your husband, which is, remarkable and must have been difficult for you, but actually helped you know what Josie was going through. For a lot of people, they just wouldn't have the level of knowledge that you have.
Yeah.
So in terms of raising awareness, I mean,
Absolutely.
what guidance would you give people?
Well, it presents like a flu. It's a high temperature, which you can't get down, so approaching 40, which is like 104, 105.
Of course, you've got COVID in the mix now. A lot of people will go, oh, it's
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
Exactly. And apparently, because we've all been so locked up, our immune systems have all gone to sleep a bit. And there's a spike in it at that uni age, so the 17 to 25-year-olds. So yes, the high temperature, stiff neck. My husband had very bad sensitivity to light. He couldn't bear the light, but that was the other strain. He had A and she had B, or has B. And aching joints. So it looks like flu, but once you see the rash, you need to go to A&E. Forget the ambulance, it's not quick enough. Get them in the car and get them on that drip. And then you have to convince them, once you get to A&E, that you do know that it's what it is.
Well, it's so important that you're saying this today because, you know, even all of us, you know, you sort of think, oh, when your kids are like 2, that you worry about meningitis. And then after that, you think, oh, phew, I'm out of the woods on that one.
Yeah.
And of course, there's this other one that comes along.
Well, there's 5 versions of it.
There's 5 versions, but there is a jab, I believe, that's available.
It's a newer jab, which I presume she hasn't had, although
But why
I
do
thought
they
she
not
had.
just make that part of the, you know, this
Well, you were
is not
saying your
widely
daughter's
known.
had it, yeah?
Yeah, because my husband is so sort of, he's got quite a lot of health anxiety and he looks into everything. And he announced to me when our daughter was about 14, I'm getting her this bacterial meningitis injection, but I wouldn't have known about it otherwise.
I think it only came in a few years ago, and I presumed when she had her top-ups at school that she'd had it.
Yeah,
I know she had it as a baby, and I was really into that because of what happened to my husband.
Well, I know I will be
catch it?
checking. I will be 100% checking.
Is that what they
It's
just
contagious.
Like COVID, it's droplets. It's in the air. It can be from sharing a drink, kissing, touching even, and you can even get it in food.
Do you tell us how she is now?
Well, her bloods haven't been great for a while. So her kidneys had failed for a few weeks. So, but they are starting to work. And so her creatine levels, which is like toxins, haven't been going in the right direction, but they've stabilised for 2 days now. So we're just hoping that they only need to go the right way.
And she's fit. So.
And then if they're steady and go in the right direction for 2 days, she can come home. So we're just praying that it'll happen this week.
Well, you're helping lots of people. Yeah, this message of acting speedy, like that's going to save a lot of people's lives. And I think it's really great that you're able to come on here and do that. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And thank you, ladies, for letting me tell people about it, because I wouldn't want it to happen to anybody.
Very, very important.
Yeah.
No, really, you know, our thoughts are very much with you and Josie. And we have a graphic here, and just to run through the signs that people could look out for: a high temperature, cold hands and feet, vomiting, headaches, fast breathing, a rash that doesn't fade when a glass is rolled over it, stiff neck, muscle and joint pain, sensitivity to bright light, seizures, drowsiness or unresponsiveness. So it won't be all of those symptoms necessarily, but, you know, look out for those. Jay, I hope the next time we speak you have much, much better news for us. Thank you very much. And if you go to the website on screen now, you'll find plenty of information on places to go for more information and advice on meningitis. After the break, there's a new period drama hitting screens. I'm not talking about Gentleman Jack. Instead, new kids flick Turning Red is opening up the conversation around puberty. So when is the best age to have the chat with your little ones? And is it okay to secretly do your kids' school projects for them? Jane's got something to confess on that one. We'll see you after this.
Tomorrow, lovely Jabbly. Only Fools and Horses stars Tessa Peake-Jones and Gwyneth Strong join Loose Women, remembering life with the Trotters and revealing what brings them back together after 15 years apart. That's Tessa and Gwyneth tomorrow from 12:30.
Welcome back. Coming up from Dobble to Pogs via patty cake and French skipping. No, I've not lost my marbles. Well, maybe I have. But we're talking about some of our favourite childhood games a little bit later on. And if we can remember how, we'll be giving them a go live on air as well. Jane and I might have a thing or two to teach these youngsters. Oh, yes. Would you like a Werther's original, Jane? Now, first.
Other sweets are available.
All right. Not as good though. A dad in Lancashire has helped with his son's ancient Egypt project by building him a full-size tomb with a mummy inside. Richard Brigg, an
wow.
engineer. Oh, wow. He spent 6 weeks, 250 quid on the Pharaoh masterpiece for his 7-year-old son after a teacher asked him to build an Egyptian tomb for the class. I mean, you're not going to get away with that, though, are you? I mean, what are you going to do? The kids are going to, yeah, I made it myself.
Yeah, but that's a bit different. The teacher was actually asked.
Yeah.
That's a bit different. You've got all these parents that do it for
Well, if you would like to hear a story about that, Jane will be able to help us tell us about Gary's eruption.
So Gary's daughter Lauren, who's now 35, when she was at school, they said, I think all kids have to do this at some point. She had to make a volcano. So she came home and she went, oh, I've got to make a volcano. So Gary, being very competitive, completely threw himself into this project to the point that he was elbowing her to one side. No, let me do it. Don't you spoil it. Papier-mâché, had like orange tissue paper coming out the top. He went to one of those model train shops and bought little trees and bushes.
He really got into it.
Oh, I mean, I don't think Lauren had anything to do with it whatsoever.
It is annoying when the kids interfere, though, isn't it? When
Exactly.
you're trying to do it.
And then she took it to school, and then he was like this for 4 days, going, have you had a mark yet? Have you had a mark yet? Like this. And then in the end, she went B-. And he went,
Are you joking?
B-. Had to be like stopped from going to school to demand why he hadn't got an A. But of course, I said, they obviously rumbled you.
Yeah.
I never did that. I just let them, well, because I'm rubbish at all these modelly things as well. So, I mean, I just completely let them get on with it. But it kind of feels like the involvement in school from parents has really grown and grown and grown. I mean, I don't think my mum knew where I was at school. I mean, and then I was a bit laissez-faire with the kids. But like your generation, you're really in there, aren't you?
Yeah, you have to be quite involved now, I think.
You do, but then it's quite a good community because you get like these class reps. So you'll get mums volunteering to.
Ooh, look at Lou.
I'm sat
we a
next
class
to the
rep,
class
are we?
rep. But actually, they're a godsend because our class reps. So you leave for work at 6 o'clock in the morning. They will text you the night before saying, "Comet relief tomorrow. Make sure you bring £1. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that." And actually, I think you don't have time to look at the school emails. They're getting that WhatsApp, but it has to be the organised mum.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of fell into the role of class rep, shall we say. And I thought I would spend all of my kids' school years avoiding that because I rely on the class rep. I'm the mum that's going to forget the swimming, the projects, the this, that, the other. But this mum really needed some help and no one else would do it. So I was like, okay, fine. And I was like, but I don't have, like, my week is not the same. So I can't commit and, I'll be useless. So at first she said, oh, you could be in charge of all the social stuff. And I was like, no, that is the worst job for me. I was like, I'm quite new at the school. I was like, I don't need that. So she's put me in charge of the kitty, which Wayne thinks is hilarious. And all of my friends from home, when I told them, cried with laughter because they know how unorganised I am. So I'm in charge of the kitty. I've got to chase people to pay, which I don't like to do, which I didn't in the end. I just thought, not everyone can either afford to or wants to. So before I went into the castle, I had to buy Christmas presents. So in October, I was buying Christmas presents for the teachers and the TAs. And then I had to just buy Easter eggs. And there was some worry about how much I would spend on the Easter egg compared to the other class and things like that.
A lot of gift vouchers and bubble bath.
I know, but that's the thing, is it? They probably all just want a bottle of wine or something.
Yeah.
But it is, now it's fallen on me. I realise it is quite hard work and there's quite a lot of pressure because people expect a certain level.
Some people enjoy it more than others.
Yes, I have to say I won't be doing it again. It can do, yes.
Have you ever seen Motherland?
Oh,
no,
yeah.
you keep telling me about that.
You have to watch it.
It's so accurate.
It's so good. I think as well, I just thought I'd always avoid it because my mum really avoided, the PTAs of school. And so she'd kind of put this thing in my head. I think a lot of it comes down to that age-old silly, the ones that work and the ones that don't, which it shouldn't. I think it's just people who are more organised and want to be more involved.
Did we have it in our day? I don't remember.
So.
I mean,
I liked
probably wouldn't have known, but I don't remember that thing going on then.
My mum wouldn't have. Honestly,
they had it when I was a kid.
I'm really pretty sure she doesn't know where the school was.
I think it's come with group chats though as well because there's more comms, isn't there?
Yeah. It happened to me once. So literally every time they asked for a class, I'd be like this. And then this one particular teacher, he went, and everyone was like this, me sir, and he went, Jane. And I said, why have you chosen me? I have no interest at all. And he went,
You're very
"That's
organised,
precisely why I want you."
So you won't bend his ear the whole time.
Because I won't be on his case.
That poor guy's probably had a lot of PDAs. You have all been getting in touch with your school projects. See if anyone out does. Oh, this is good.
That's really
This is
good.
Claire, who constructed a papier-mâché Spider-Man for her daughter's superhero project. Very good.
A daughter's project.
Her daughter's. Anastasia created a real-life Wurzel Gummidge as part of a school project.
Very
That's brilliant too.
realistic.
And Jennifer's son was learning all about the Titanic.
Oh,
my
my
kids did that
word.
as well. But she does
Wow.
admit that she did most of the work herself. That is really
Carter
good.
would love that.
Yeah.
But you do get too involved, don't you? I bet none of
Oh,
them let
look
them
at that.
near it.
Look at the minions. That's
excellent.
Julia.
That's
Julia's
excellent.
grandson.
Do you like that?
Excellent. Well done. Thank you. Had to decorate some eggs, and Julia was in there only too happy to help. Oh,
cute.
very good.
That is cute.
Now, there's a new Disney film out, Turning Red, which tells the story of a teenage girl who gets to that age and suddenly turns into a big red panda.
Happens to us all.
Apparently. Take a look at this.
This isn't happening. This isn't happening. Wake up, wake up, wake up!
Is everything okay?
Don't come in here!
What's going on, honey? Are you sick? Is it a fever? A stomach ache? Chills? Constipation?
No!
Wait, is it that? Did the red peony bloom?
No! Maybe?
Well, the film has been praised for opening up the conversations around periods and puberty. Have your kids seen it, Katie?
My eldest, who's 8, is obsessed with it. But funnily enough, she hasn't raised any of those subjects with me following watching it. And all she does is pause it and do all the dances and the singing. And that's the bit she's focused on.
So she's not made the connection?
No, but I would say on those subjects in our house, that's a constant open dialogue. And, you know, she sees stuff that I have in the bathroom. She comes to the loo with me when we're out and about. So we have had those chats. And for me, I never wanted it to be a sit-down chat at a certain age. I just wanted it to be an organic conversation that we don't attach any shame or secretive.
Are you comfortable with a big movie, a big kids movie, bringing this into the house as a conversation piece?
It's actuality, it's reality, isn't it? I don't think it should be hidden. I suppose it takes choice out of a parent's hand. You know, in some cultures and some families, they don't want that, and that would be thrust upon you if you watched it. But I think it's something that happens to everyone, so why would I?
Although you say your daughter's not necessarily picked up on the message, but
she's not turned into a big red panda yet.
I haven't seen the film, so it's difficult to comment in the round. But watching that scene, I think I don't remember feeling like that at all when I got my period. You know, I remember just thinking, you know, sort of thing. But then I was lucky because I didn't really have any. But that sort of looks like it's, oh my gosh, it turns you into a different person. It's very emotional. It's something that, I don't know, is that good?
Even the parents' reaction, you know, it
and
makes
I wonder how boys would respond to it. I mean,
I don't know. No, you know what? I'd not actually heard of it. Mine are still on Encanto. We're always a bit behind. But I'd happily let them watch it because I think it's just as important for boys to learn about periods and things like that so they can understand who they're around, they can understand me and whatever. But I wonder if they'd particularly understand it or whether it kind of plants the seed and maybe when they're a bit older they might go, oh yeah, I'll watch that thing.
Yeah.
But like you know, you can't stop your kids from following you to the blooming loo.
Oh,
when
God,
I call them for dinner or for a shower, you know, they're nowhere to be seen. The minute I need a wee, they're there. So they've seen tampons and sanitary towels and we've had those kind of conversations. I think great that Disney are kind of touching on the subject. I've not seen it, so it's out of context, but just seeing that, I'm a bit like, I'm not sure if that's kind of the right way to go, but I've not seen the film.
Yeah, I think it's more of an argument for just normalising. So if you think, like, back in the day, they might have made something where they would go, if we just sort of go back in time and you go, right, okay, we're going to make a big show about someone who's gay. And now we're in the situation where it's just like, we're making a drama and one of the characters is gay.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just normal.
It would be in society.
So I just wonder
sometimes this is all around the
whether it would be better
chat.
to just make a film about something else and then the girl just happens to you know, hold up a sanitary product and give it to her.
But it always
friend
has to
or-
go to the extreme first,
Yeah.
doesn't it? I think when new
does
subjects
it?
come up,
Does
but it doesn't have to, but it just does. It's like, you know, when they first started putting curve models on the front of magazines, it was like, oh my God. And it's like, well, that should just be normal.
But
It
I
shouldn't
thought
be
we were
commented
further
on.
along than that.
But this sense
Yeah.
of normal, it kind of makes you think, well, what's normal in some families is so different. Because I was having this conversation with my friend of, well, when is it normal to stop being naked in front of your children? Because, you know, when you're breastfeeding, you're practically naked all the time. And we've got 2 girls, and you think, well, is there a stage where their dad shouldn't be naked, you know, getting in and out of the shower around them? Is there a stage when I shouldn't be? Will they tell me? You know, I mean, what about you guys? What's it like in your house?
We're quite a naked family, I would say. And I grew up in quite a naked family. I think that I don't see what the issue, I wouldn't think about it. I wouldn't think, oh, now is a time to cover up. I think if they started to look uncomfortable, or if they started saying, oh, mummy, then I would go from them. Then I think, whereas you know, mine will come up to me if I'm naked. Parker sometimes I can see might feel a bit uncomfortable, so I would cover up. I don't know. So I would just go from their cues. But I remember growing up and seeing my parents run to and from the bathroom, and I didn't think twice about it. Hopefully I'd make you feel comfortable in that
Would
way.
you?
I don't
What
know.
about, because your boys are still quite young, what about when they get to teen years?
I don't think it would bother me, but if it bothered them, then I would cover up.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I think I'd just go from them.
I suppose the thing is we're always looking for a right and a wrong these days, aren't we? What is the way to do it? And actually the way to do it is the way that's right for your family and all the different influences that your family has. And just kind of going back to that movie, that's, I suppose, what slightly concerns me about it, in that it, having not seen it, and I say that, but it kind of puts a narrative on it. It's going to put a narrative on it because it's a film.
That you change into something else when you get your period.
Whereas I absolutely agree with you, it should be normal. And my mum was very relaxed about these things, and I was very relaxed about these things. And, you know, whenever the kids asked about sanitary products or whatever, I'm more than happy to talk about it. So within the family, very open. Whether I want somebody else saying, this is the way you talk about puberty, or this is when you should stop being naked. This is when you should do this. Well, it's different for everyone, isn't it?
I think for me, with nudity, with puberty, it's just not attaching shame to it, because when you attach shame to something, you stop talking about it.
Exactly.
And that's what I wouldn't want to happen in our family.
Yeah, you want your kids to feel comfortable with it. And obviously my girls are older, not to reveal it, and Ian and I are very, very wrinkly, so they probably don't want to see us naked apart from anything else. But, you know, I mean, if they happen to walk into the bedroom and you were getting changed, it wouldn't be like, oh, like that. Though having said, one of them is very self-conscious, and so you would totally respect
But
her
again,
boundaries.
you're coming from her boundaries.
That's her boundaries, 100%.
I would like to think that I will grow boys that if their girlfriend, if they have a girlfriend, said to them, can you go and grab me a tampon, don't shower, or I've got my period, they wouldn't be like, oh God, oh, you know, that they would just go, all right,
I had a lovely boyfriend like that when I was 16. I was embarrassed to buy sanitary products, and he would go and get them for me.
That's ridiculous.
Isn't that nice? Love is. What?
Why?
Why was I embarrassed? Oh, because I'm a basket case, you know.
But you would think you'd be more embarrassed to ask him or to tell him, not actually just go and
I know.
See, my kids get embarrassed when it's delay tactics. So, you know, suddenly in the bedtime, we need privacy to get changed, we need to be alone. They never need privacy in the morning when I'm trying to drag them out of bed. You know? It's just to extend bedtime.
Selective privacy.
Selective privacy.
Very good. Plenty more to come after this, including today's big debate about hairy chests, and we are going back to our school days after this with a trip down memory lane as we revisit some of our favourite childhood games. We'll see you after this. Welcome back. Now, Frankie, I have been cruising your Instagram, and I am disgusted to discover that you really let yourself go on holiday last week.
Did I?
You didn't wash your hair for a whole 4 days.
4 days,
Which is why you
guys.
had the childhood nickname that you did.
Let us.
I thought you were supposed to be looking terrible.
Yeah.
Can I see that picture again? I cannot believe it.
That's all right, isn't it?
It's blooming good.
No, so I made a pact to myself because I've always had short hair, so I've never had to worry about the health of my hair because I got it cut every 2 weeks. And where I've had it dyed, I'm always putting heat on it. It's not in great condition, guys. So I didn't take any styling products away with me, so I couldn't put any heat on it. For the first part of the holiday, I hadn't washed it full because I wash my hair every day.
That would have done it good.
Yes, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to look after my hair. So even today, not washed it this morning, guys.
I
normally wash it.
sat here.
How dare you? I normally wash it every day.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's a big thing. If you're used to being a daily washer, that must
Yeah, it's
feel...
quite a big deal for me.
Yeah.
But I used to feel like you could see it, like the grease on my face if I didn't wash it.
I mean, I was just laughing at that you said 4 days as if it was a long time. I thought, that's nothing. She's an amateur.
Well, you're the woman that comes in with the makeup from the day before, so for you, it's probably not.
I think that's the norm for me. I mean, I would probably be able to wash my hair once a week.
Really?
Yeah,
But that's good though.
it
That's
never
better.
ever goes greasy.
Yeah.
I probably wash it normally twice a
But
week.
does it not go a bit like lackluster?
No,
That's
I
what
think it's because we're
always think.
blondes, though. You tend to be a little bit more drier when
Also,
you're a
it's
blonde.
bleached.
Well, it does make
Yeah.
a difference, apparently, if it's dry. If it's dry, it should be washed every 2 to 3 days with a moisturising shampoo. Is
So
your
4
dye-
hours, really pushing it.
Yeah,
wasn't
is
I?
your dry or oily? What is it normally?
Normally oily.
Oily, okay. Washing it every day can make it greasier in the
That's what I
long
think.
run.
Yeah.
Because it can overstimulate
the
oil-producing
sebaceous
glands in the
Yeah.
scalp.
See, I know what I'm doing.
I have thought about, I've looked at your oil-producing glands before and I've been worried about them. I really have.
I was going to call you something then and realised that we were on TV.
Thank you, well
See,
done.
poor Richie, I like sleep in a shower cap because I do like...
Poor
I know,
Richie.
it's not glamorous, is it?
No.
There's-
Why? Why
because
do you
2 to 3 times a week I put a conditioning treatment in it. So it's not, I don't need to shampoo it 2 to 3 times a week, but I put it all in my hair, twist it up, then I go to bed in a shower cap.
I did a hair mask for the day while I was away as well.
But up them a little bit more. 2 to 3 times a week's good for breakage.
What
and
about you?
damage.
Get myself a shower cap.
Whenever.
Do you ever wash?
No, come on. I do have some level
don't
of
feel like
personal
you're a big
hygiene.
washer.
No, I don't. I have a shower now.
Your hair looks nice today.
Twice a week.
Yeah, same.
Twice a week. Yeah.
Really?
You
So I
only
am
shower
actually a bit
twice a week?
weird. aren't
You
I?
are actually a bit weird. Let's write
Also,
this
you're
down.
the shower. I think you're the shower generation because, again,
Yeah.
from my childhood, I think those habits.
We were in a tin bath.
We
in
were
front
in a
of fire.
tin bath.
There we go.
On a Sunday
When I was
night,
young.
Not on
someone
bank
else's
holiday.
water.
Oh, hang on, my clog fell off.
When we were on black and white TV.
Well, listen, talking about going back through
Would
the
have been
mists
a
of time.
palace to us.
Wait to see this. This was Jane and I's heyday. Back to was it the 70s, the old hairy chest and the medallion?
Yeah.
French
You had a
president.
hairy chest.
Yeah, we did. Both of us.
Yeah. Emmanuel Macron heading for the polls next weekend. But
Wait,
there you
whoa.
go. That's him on the campaign trail.
He looks great.
That's an official photograph.
Yeah, it's a
So
bit try hard.
He's doing that thing, isn't he? He's just undone a couple of buttons. He's got the big hairy chest, very French.
Just
He's the
caught him in a
medallion.
laugh.
Actually, you saw that, Katie, and you thought double standards, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, he's giving me all the right feelings. So, you know, he looks great. But I do think it's really unfair because, like you said, it's a professional picture. And if that was a woman with a top that low cut, and if they had big bosoms, they would be seen as a bimbo, not intelligent, unprofessional. So it is double standards. I
Remember
think.
all the fuss about Theresa May's leather trousers?
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is, and I don't actually know, but I think culturally they might be different in France. And I don't know if they would have that reaction to a female politician. And anyone out there who's French can correct me in this, but I wonder if they do. I think they are a bit more comfortable.
I mean,
with
he looks
their,
great.
Allure.
There's too much hair for me.
Too much hair for you?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And it also almost looks like it's a hairy t-shirt because it's kind of like a round neck.
Oh, I love it.
Like it's like he's trimmed it.
Oh,
There's
I
a lot of
think-
thought gone
I
into
think
it.
it's
It would be
trimmed,
different
yeah.
if he was in a restaurant and it was a pap shot. But for that to be the official photo that he's looked at and said, yeah, that's okay, to me it's quite strange because it's quite mannered.
But
Would you want to
it'll
see
work.
Boris like that?
Oh, please, don't ruin my
oh.
bank holiday.
And also, how often do you think you should wash that rug there?
Oh, no, it definitely has to have the lather in the shower.
We've got a
Could
chest hair
you
expert.
could get crumbs and bits and bobs.
Crumbs! Oh, you've just ruined it, Katie.
See, look, this
What
is
do you
why
think
I'm
his oil
not.
glands are like?
It's what, gland?
Sebaceous gland.
Oh, gosh.
Well, I have
This
to
is taking a turn.
Well, you've made me very self-conscious now because, I mean, I look at that and I quite like a hairy chest,
Yeah,
but then I
I'm
don't want
with
to
you.
seem like an old lech. And if you're throwing the old sexism thing in, I've got to be very
Yes.
professional, haven't I?
Mhm.
How annoying. Can I not just say I think that looks really good?
Yeah, he wears it well.
He does.
He does.
Wears
Yeah.
it well.
Yeah.
He wears it well. Right, it's competition time now, and we have the perfect holiday prize worth over £110,000. Yes, finally we get a woo out of Jane Moore. Natalie Anderson has all the details.
This week, you've got another chance to win a perfect holiday prize package worth over £110,000. You could be the owner of this brand new Swift Bordeaux exclusive holiday home at a haven park of your choice, and there's 21 to pick from. So what's it like being a holiday home owner?
One of the pluses of just being able to walk down to the beach with the kids, just enjoy the sea, literally anytime you want.
Having the spa and the swimming pool and the owner's lounge.
As well as having the perks of being a haven owner, your site fees will be covered until the end of 2023. But there's more. You could win a massive £40,000 in tax-free cash. Just imagine all the fun that you and your family could have in your home away from home with all that cash in the bank. Don't miss out on your chance to win endless holidays whenever you like and £40,000. Get entering now. For another chance to win, text PRIZE to 86060. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website. Entries cost £2. Call 09068 786060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY14 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 22nd of April at 3 p.m. Good luck!
Now, it is the Easter holidays, and for many children these days, video games and chatting to friends on social media is the in thing, which makes me feel 107, even just saying the in thing. Traditional pastimes like building dens and playing it are... I'm feeling all nostalgic already. I loved my little den. Do kids still have dens?
Yeah, my kids make dens.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I'm so pleased.
It's still a big
I'm not. They get all the cushions and everything off of the
best
sofas.
scatter
Drives me
cushions.
mad.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Because we always go into this, and of course kids play video games and they've got all the technology at their fingertips that we didn't have. But there's still an instinct with kids to do all of that stuff that we've always done, isn't there?
Well, I've just been on holiday with 8 kids, you know, and they've all got iPads and things like that. But they do sit there at dinner sometimes because, like we were saying, it benefits us for them to be able to be a bit more quiet or whatever. But we also had, like, they played Uno, they played Double,
We
they
love
played
Double.
It, they played Chase. They played all sorts. They were playing this number game with your fingers where they can. So they still, if given the chance, like if you said to my kids, right, do you want an iPad or go and play this? They'd probably choose iPad, unless it was a board game, to be fair. But if you take it away from them or make them have a break, they will go and still use their imagination and play all the games that we used to play. I was trying to teach Carter on the plane yesterday how to do the...
Oh, yeah, it was
like
a sailor went to
CCC, and I was trying to teach them high-low, trickle-low, high-low, whatever it is. So, and Thumb Wars and things like that. So they do still know it all.
Isn't it nice reliving it all through your kids? Because we do Thumb War, and they do all the games still, like Don't Step on the Crack, Hide and Seek, Tag, Duck Goose. We still do all that. I used to love
Duck Goose.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, what did the little Katie look like when she was at school?
Oh,
I might have a picture.
Oh no, have you? I was quite
Do we?
geeky.
Hang on,
yeah.
hang on.
I had a bit of a Lego haircut. Look.
Oh,
my dad did that. He's a barber. My dad cut mine.
That is fantastic. Oh, I love
That
it.
hair.
was
We
gonna
all
say-
have massive fringes.
Yeah.
I was going to say I love a school picture, but I know mine's probably coming up soon, so I'm going to kind of wait till
sepia.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was going to be black and white. It's what?
You cheeky little
Oh, look at the round collar. That's a short
Look at
side.
me.
You had a
Fringe
little side fringe,
Is
though.
that
That
going
was
on
quite
there?
happening,
I'd
wasn't
obviously
it?
been on the chocolate eggs. Look at me, there's very full cheeks there. Come on then, let's see you. If you were gorgeous, I'm going to get really annoyed. I bet you were.
Me?
Come on, Frankie,
No.
let's see
Washing her hair every
How was
day.
it? Yeah, look at
Oh,
that.
oh, that's gorgeous. That's a real
Little Miss
headshot.
Perfect.
Look at the fringe though. It's like halfway at the back of my head.
She hasn't changed
And my
much,
hair's
though.
still
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
What was the padded headband about? Was that the style?
I don't know, they're cool again
back
though.
now.
Are they?
Prada have made them, darling,
look
don't you know?
at you.
Yeah, fish that
And
out.
I said to my mum, can you send me one? And I was like, that's the worst one. There's some really cute ones. That one's just like that awkward stage, isn't it?
We've got Jane to go now.
Oh, yes.
Well, let's have a look.
Yeah, this was my...
That's a school
angelic.
picture.
Huh?
Is that a school picture?
Yeah, that was my first ever school picture. And if you're my age,
Aw.
you'll remember they used to bring in, I think it was like a vintage car backdrop.
Oh, bless
And you would have to sit in front of it.
I've got one of those. I've got one of those.
Yeah,
as
and,
well.
and we didn't. I didn't wear uniform at my. I went to quite a progressive school in Oxford. We didn't wear uniform, so I'm wearing a little green cord
cute.
dress there. But yeah, I think I was about
Very
6 or
angelic.
7 then.
You do look very angelic.
Yeah.
Very
Still am.
misleading.
Still
Have you
am.
not heard her story about she was a Miss Pears?
Oh,
She,
what?
Miss Pears.
They won't
that
know
was
what
like,
Miss Pears is.
No, you won't.
No.
Yeah.
You grew nice hairs.
1967, I came. I got through to the final 6. It was like a beauty competition for children, a national beauty competition for the soap, and I came second, I think, in 1967.
Yeah. Strangely, I didn't. I was just saying what
You're
you're saying
wicked.
about the iPads, though, and you did say that, you know, it's often the parents, isn't it? Because when you're on holiday, you've got a bit more time, so you will play Thumb
Yeah.
Wars and have those chats, and you're kind of a bit more relaxed.
Mm.
But when you're really busy, you have to say that tablet or that phone is really handy.
They
isn't
are. They are handy, and we use them to. You know, you can't fully be like, you can't have it, and then you sit there on yours. We actually, while we were away, we all thought a couple behind us were judging us for the kids being on their iPads
Really?
or being too noisy, and we were all like, oh, you know, giving them some rubbish under our breaths. And then we went outside, and the kids are, well, Wayne and the kids were playing zombies, and the woman came up to me and she said, which one's that one there with the curly hair? And I said, oh, that's mine. That's Carter, and he's got these little glasses now, his little round glasses. She said, oh, he's just adorable with his glasses. She said, I just want to steal him. And I thought, oh my God, I thought you were judging us. So I think we judge ourselves just as much. I said, oh, I remember when my kids were like that. And, you know, and that's nice. It's nice to have that every so often, isn't it?
Yeah, we give ourselves a hard time.
We
I think,
do,
don't we?
Yeah, and I don't think you should make judgments of anyone's parenting because you don't know from the outside what's going on. A lot of people whose children might be autistic or have ADHD, like the tablets might really help with their parenting and give them a well-needed break. And I think as parents now, we're more accessible. So, you know, you could leave work on the landline in the office, whereas if now you might be out and about and have to take a work call, maybe you need to give your child a tablet while you do that or write that email. I don't think judgment is helpful. You don't understand the full picture of someone's
100%,
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what were the favourite games of your childhood then, Jane?
Gosh. Well, French elastic, which were.
We do have time if you'd like to give us
French
a
skipping,
demonstration.
as we used to call
Jane.
it.
Would you like to give us a demonstration?
Oh, go on then.
Come on then. What did we do?
Come on, Frankie,
I
we'll
remember
take
this.
okay. Sit me.
No, Frankie's got her trainers on. Makes Frankie do everything.
I've got my heels on, so I'm going to
put it round your ankles. Quite. You go higher as they get more adept. But at this
I mean,
point,
I think I'm a beginner.
Right,
I think I'm a
that's it.
beginner.
Right, back. Right, that's it. So you jump in.
My bum's going to do all sorts of
Jump in, jump out. That's it. In, out, in, on. Yes.
that's it. And couldn't you cross it as well?
And then in. And then you jump out.
You still remember
And then you
this, Jane?
twist.
How many times have I got to do this?
And then you jump out.
How'd you jump out?
Go on. Jump. No, you failed. You're not, no, failed. Not allowed to touch anyone.
Well
And
done,
then-
everyone.
and then
I'm
it
just
would go
going to
up.
play a game on my tablet because that was really, really dull, actually.
It would go higher.
Right,
and
okay,
higher.
Jane's getting into it now.
Do you know how you
It was just a gag, Jane. It was just a gag. Please, thank you. It was just a gag. Enough now.
Oh.
Just see.
Very competitive.
Thank you.
So now I've got concussion, we can stop, yeah?
And well done, Frankie.
literally
Your pelvic floor must
butted
still be in mint condition because mine wouldn't do it, that's for sure. Even with an extra long show, that is all we've got time for today. Tomorrow we've got a lovely, jubbly Only Fools and Horses reunion when Raquel and Cassandra, that's Tessie P. Jones and Gwyneth Strong, join us in the studio. Enjoy the rest of the bank holiday, you plonkers.